I am thrilled to be able to support people to dream up units from a spark of inspiration. So we are going to go from spark of inspiration to unit outline right now, hopefully in 5 minutes. Here we go. So one of the sparks that I have, I'm going to share with you, hashtag unit dreaming on Twitter or LinkedIn is a place where you can just find all the ones I've ever posted. I'm going to pick one and I'm going to show you how I would take it through a template that I'm going to give you in the description below. I'm going to go ahead and take it to unit outline level. Let's get into it. This is the spark of inspiration. Jamila Jones in a Code Switch episode shared this quote, and this is an abbreviation of the quote, but basically they were in a protest. They started singing. She started singing. People sang with her, and a policeman was literally shaking and said, "Do you have to sing so loud?" Right? And she's saying these people had all the guns, all the power. He was asking me if I would not sing so loud. And it was at that time that I really understood the power of our music. To me, this sparks some ideas. So what I'm giving you in the description, I'm giving you a link to a staff meeting agenda. You'll actually get several. This is one of 4 that you'll get. And there's a planning template in here. So we're going to go right to that planning template now. This is called Curriculum Fluency Practice, and this is what you can do with your staff. So now I have the spark of inspiration. I'm just going to kind of go through and share with you from inspiration. So this is the quote. I might even go ahead and just link this, but for now I'm going to just copy. And so now I have all of that. So when I'm thinking about this, right, I first want to think about identity. So this is specifically talking about the Black freedom movement. We're talking also about freedom songs in this episode, and also broadly, that's what she talks about doing. We're talking about protests. So Dr. Goldie Muhammad talks about the justice and the joy, right? You can't have the joy without the justice. So that protests. Let's see, criticality. So this is also, right, part of it. This is the protests. I'd probably actually maybe put Black freedom movement here as well. So I might talk about Black identity. Specifically, this is female speaking, and she has a group of singers that I believe are all female too. So you might look at Black identity and Black female identity. I might think about the activist identity and what that means. Who else were activists? So these are all ideas kind of that I have at an initial level for connections here. Freedom songs, I could also broaden that a little bit to go into art. And art of, I might connect to the Black Panther Party had a artist party. There we go. Hard to type and speak. Had a lot of art to go with the Black freedom movement, and thinking about art as a way to inform, critique, spread joy, different things. So what would a driving question, now this is the hardest part, what would a driving question about this unit be? And I intentionally have not thought about this ahead of time, so you can see an authentic kind of thing through. I might do something like getting at the core of the music, right? The idea of the power of our music. I think something around that. So and then also thinking about the final creation product. So you know what? I actually might cheat a little bit. I might skip down to here. And I might say, what I want students to do is actually create songs or some sort of art. I could broaden it a little bit more. Maybe I want to specifically talk about words. But for now, let's keep it to music. And then you can figure out if you would want to do something like this. You can expand it. But I want to do some sort of concert or performance. Maybe in an auditorium or something. If you had a bigger space than that, great. But if you have something that's already in your school that you could just already have a concert coming up and you can have students do something there, great. You already have the context and the publishing opportunity, and we'll just use that now to tie to the unit. The content, specifically, I'm going to go back to that in a second. The product, I would say music, live performance, or recorded. And then again, you could expand this, can expand to art more broadly, more words, do some poetry, some stories. Now, a driving question that invites students to create a musical product and perform it at the end is probably going to be connected to all these pieces here. We kind of started talking about the content here. So I would think a little bit more about that and process a little bit more about that if I had more than 5 minutes. But thinking about the driving question, I think will be the final piece we do here. Let's see. Oh, you know what too I want to show you? I don't have it up, do I? There's pieces of a compelling driving question that are often things that I use. Actually, let me show you. I think I have them on here. So if you're looking for a frame, if you get stuck, so this is great that I'm doing this live, I think. So these are frames that I enjoy. What would it look like if? What would it look like if music drew attention to X issue? And then X issue is the thing that students could fill in. They choose the content or the subtopic to specialize in, right? So what would it look like? And let's maybe merge it with this kind of sample question here. What would it look like if music interrupted and then, whatever it was that we're looking at? So let's do that. Going back to my template here. What would a song to interrupt the injustice of So I would play with this a little bit. But if I did something like this, and blank is what they fill in. So this would be like fill in blank, and then they would do different justice topics. We could also have them study different like freedom song. I say freedom songs. It doesn't have to connect to the Black freedom movement. It could also be like globally across identity movements or identities, right? So then what would a song to interrupt the injustice of, for example, climate injustice, or interrupt the injustice of maternal mortality being higher for Black women, racial profiling by police, whatever it is, mass incarceration, insert the injustice there. And then you would enable students to create the song that responds to the driving question. So this is the song, right? And then you would also invite with the look, sound, and feel like. That is a great way for students to be able to outline the song and think about, okay, well, I haven't written the song yet, but I want it to look like this, sound like this, feel like this. And also for students to be able to say, oh, like in listening to other people's songs, this is what I think it looks like, sounds like, feels like when I hear that song or experience that song. And so you could also use the question as a way to generate feedback from audience members, whether that's peers or audience members once you perform in the space. A bit more than 5 minutes, but I want to show you how quick it can be. This can be part of a staff meeting. We can practice this for 10 minutes at the start of each PLC, but we want to make sure that our staff are equipped with being able to develop, based on the spark of inspiration, a unit outline really quickly and think about these questions that we have on this template. Go ahead and grab that link. You're going to get one agenda a week for a month. So you can actually start doing a bunch of things at your staff meetings. All of the resources are in there. I cannot wait to hear how this goes. And if you create something and your staff creates something you want to share, please link those in the comments or reach out and share with me. We're definitely going to do more of these, by the way. These are really fun.